that to me is another positive of the Trump administration. Whether or not like America truly goes into like an economic boon, I have no idea. Like I'm not a economist, and I think even they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about, dealing with something at scale that makes no sense. I mean, who's to say we're not going to enter some, stock crash or something just because of the way things were valued that weren't correctly valued? I don't think we will, but you never know. But like, I think Trump winning was good for like freedom of speech and like, government censorship. I think that was a step in the right direction. At least that's, how I feel about it. I just think that like anytime you have like government that's stepping in, telling people what they can and can't say. I mean, the fact that like the Biden administration, or I guess they weren't in power yet. It was still Trump in power, which makes it even more wild that Trump was in power in November. The Hunter Biden laptop story comes out. They find people within the CIA, and they say 51 CIA former intelligence officers say this is disinformation. They just literally went to them and said, "Say this," and then they did, and then they pushed it upon, the Facebook and Twitter and made them tamp it down, which to me, like, did it really have a crazy effect on the election? To me, it's almost like the Streisand effect, because I heard about it more because of that. I think most people did. But the fact that they're even willing to do it shows like the slippery slope. Like imagine if that grows unchecked and they can just do whatever they want. I mean, look at COVID, like what they did with COVID. They were actively removing content and putting like warnings up on YouTube videos. Like they allowed the content on YouTube and some of the platforms. Like some platforms didn't allow the content. Like YouTube would allow the content, but they would demonetize it. So like essentially what they're doing is they're incentivizing you to not talk about it. So a lot of people, when your income is your platform, you're not going to talk about COVID because you're not making money on it. That's just kind of how those things work. Like if you can get rid of the money making aspect of talking about the subject, why would anybody talk about it? I mean, thankfully we had enough of an outlet to get the information out there, but man, we were close. Like that's just what it takes, like to slide down into, top down control, like to lose like freedom of speech because of whatever crisis. I don't care what crisis is happening. Like the government should not have the power to do that. And I get the argument, it's like private companies, but when the government's putting pressure on private companies to do that, that's when it's a problem.